Alrighty, hey everyone, it is Jess from the Kidney RD coming in here for our daily live. I love coming in here. I love talking about chronic kidney disease. I am a registered dietitian, renal dietitian specifically, and I focus on chronic kidney disease and helping people preserve their kidney function. So today I want to talk about something that's not talked about commonly, but people definitely have questions about, and that is oxalates and PKD or CKD and what that means. So oxalates, first, to let you know what they are. Oxalates are just a naturally occurring substance in foods, and some have a lot and some have a little, and it's just something that we consume regularly. So they, for some people, can make a really big difference. So here's what happens when you eat oxalates. When you eat oxalates, it goes into your stomach, and in your stomach, it can combine with calcium, and then you just excrete it in your feces. Otherwise, it goes into your urine, and in your urine, it can also combine with calcium, but in that case, that's bad because it's going to make little crystals. Now, this is a very important piece for understanding who needs to watch their oxalates in their diet. So, the people that we generally are watching oxalates for in the diet are people with polycystic kidney disease and people who are at risk or have a history of calcium oxalate stones. So for chronic kidney disease, there's a lot of controversy about whether or not it's an important marker to manage. We currently don't use a low oxalate diet for chronic kidney disease, but definitely for polycystic kidney disease. And here is why it's really important with polycystic kidney disease, and where some people really get tripped up when they're trying a ketogenic diet for PKD or just healthy eating for polycystic kidney disease, and then they're still feeling like they're getting worse function. So what happens is when that calcium and the oxalate is in the tubules of the kidneys and it crystallizes together, the response of the kidneys to flush out these little tiny microscopic crystals is to expand the tubules, and when it does that, it drives the cyst growth in polycystic kidney disease. Some really fascinating research on that. That is why in some cases people will say, hey, like, I'm going to really tackle this with diet, and they'll start following a low oxalate diet for PKD, and their function will get worse. So it's very important with polycystic kidney disease that you're aware of how to work with oxalates and how to manage oxalates. So then the next question, of course, is what foods are highest in oxalates that you should watch out for? Now, this is a little bit of a fuzzy science because the numbers keep changing. The oxalate content of food is slightly dependent on the soil quality, but in general, here are three of the biggest high oxalate culprits that get people in trouble. Spinach, almonds, and raspberries. These three are huge. There are definitely other foods than this, but I notice a lot spinach and almonds. They are like, comparative to the others, they are off the chart, and the milligrams of oxalates that are in them. So what happens is people will start a ketogenic diet for polycystic kidney disease, and they'll start including a lot of spinach. Tons of keto recipes have loads of spinach, and that's very high oxalate. So if you don't know how to manage that oxalate load or know what to do, it can be a big, big problem for people. So on the flip side, it's not actually very hard to cut those things down, and there's a few others that you work on, but instead of spinach, we'll have people use romaine. Instead of almonds, we'll have people use pecans or macadamia nuts. Peanuts are actually quite high in oxalates as well. So again, people, whether they're in a plant-based diet, ketogenic diet, they can load up with oxalates that are healthy foods and not know that these are important things to manage with polycystic kidney disease. And then the third, peaches, watermelon, apples, there's a lot of fruits that are low in oxalates as well. So in summary, to kind of cap this off, what are oxalates? They are just naturally occurring substances in food. The people that need to watch out for them are primarily people with polycystic kidney disease, or if you have a history of calcium oxalate stones. The general recommendation is less than 100 milligrams, but learning how to actually manage the amount of oxalates that you're consuming is something that a dietitian is really helpful with, something that we do in our practice. It's way more than I can talk about in a very short video here, but I will talk about later this week. So it would be fantastic to meet with a dietitian if you have polycystic kidney disease. Don't run a ketogenic protocol on your own. I highly recommend working with a professional because there's a lot of different pieces that you're going to have to put in place as far as hydration, amount of calcium you eat, watching the oxalates, watching the sodium, on top of kidney things, kidney disease pieces as well. So we find that we have really good outcomes by just taking things a step at a time, so people have a doable plan, something that they can do. But definitely oxalates is something that you're going to want to consider. One last thing that I want to mention, if a low oxalate diet for PKD is a new concept to you, I'm going to warn you about pulling oxalate lists off the internet to find out which foods have the highest and lowest content. The reason why you want to watch out for that is they vary quite a bit, and it can get very confusing about which list that you're going to use. So I would highly recommend working with a dietitian. We will try and post a list this week. You can check out also Harvard. I usually type in Harvard oxalate list, and there's an Excel document that lists everything out. And again, we aim for around 100 milligrams or less per day in oxalates, but again, there's some finite pieces that you need to learn to manage with that, which is why I really recommend you work with a dietitian. Anyways, that's all for now. You can join us on Instagram at The Kidney RD, Facebook, The Kidney RD, YouTube, The Kidney RD. If you just search for hashtag The Kidney RD, you will find our videos. We have tons of tips and tricks on what you can do to preserve your kidney function. Also, make sure and check out our website at kidneyrd.com. You can schedule a free strategy call where we can clarify more of these pieces and let you know about our services and what we can do to help you with your kidney function. All right, that's it for now. Take care. Bye-bye.